Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 54 of the Cherry Heart podcast. I'm Sandra, and this is a crochet, knitting and other crafty bits and bobs podcast brought to you from Bedfordshire in the UK. You can find the show notes for this podcast on my blog, cherryheart.co.uk, and I shall link down below. So you'll be able to find pictures of the things I talk about and links to anything I talk about. So any information you want, pop there for the relevant details. You can also find me around the web as Cherry Heart and on Instagram as Sandra Cherry HRT. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy it if you're new, and thanks for coming back if you are a returning viewer. Yes, let us begin. I normally start with what I have done, so I think let's do that again. So the only thing I think that I've finished since we last spoke is my socks. So these were work in progress last time we spoke, and these are The Boy Who Lived socks. I've decided they're quite Harry Potter-esque, and I've got this little sort of zigzaggy design down there that reminded me of his little lightning scar. So it's kind of lightning zigzag, and just the colours, the sort of black with the red, I don't know, and grey, just seem kind of Harry Potter-ish to me. So that's what I'm going with. Yes, they're all finished now, and I quite like them, quite happy with that. Quite like my little ziggy zigzag bit. Yeah, so the yarn is Easy Knits, and it's their Wrecked colourway, and yeah, it's quite boy sock, but I really like it actually. And it's done that thing as well where it started off slightly lighter and then it's deepened as I've got through the hank. But it's not too bad, is it? I prefer the lighter one, but it's only sort of really here. But yeah, that's fine. It's not that different. Let's just show you the other side so you can see it totally plain. Yeah, I like it. I did a 2x2 rib, and I did a heel flap and gusset, and I carried Eye of Partridge, which I carried down under my heel until the end of the gusset, which I quite like to do now, just to give a bit of extra strength under there, because that's where my heels will wear, if anywhere, at the bottom there. And then I just did a basic wedge toe to finish. Yes, that's probably all there is to say about those, really. I'm just thinking if there is anything else I can possibly tell you about them, but I don't think so, really. These were kind of a weekend knit. We had a couple of wet weekends, and I got most of them done then, actually, while we were just having a nice relaxing time. So yeah, they were an enjoyable make. I'm sure there was something else I was going to say. I really like this yarn as well, because although it looks kind of just shades of grey and with red on the camera, but actually, I don't know if you can see, I'll have to try and put a picture in show notes, but there's actually quite a lot of blue tinges to it, and even some little yellowy flecks in there. So it's really quite nice. You can kind of see a yellowy patch there. Oh, that's what I was going to say about these socks. I made the first one, and I've got my little zigzag on this side of the sock. So for the second one, I had intended to do it on this side, because then they would be, well, I was going to say handed, but footed, I suppose. But yeah, there would be a right one with a zigzag on the right side, and there would have been a left one with the zigzag on the left side in theory. And I was going to have the zig going the other way, so on this one where it goes in, I was going to have this one go in. But I didn't. I did it exactly the same when it came to it because I completely forgot. So I thought, well, that's fine. I've done the zigzag the same, but never mind. I'll still put it on the other side. When I get to the heel, I'll just do the heel, you know, I'll move it round and do the heel in the right place for this to be on the left side, and it'll all be good. But I knit merrily away, started the heel, did all the gusset, got to about here and realised, I didn't do that heel in a different place after all. So they're actually two completely identical socks, and they're not handed at all or footed. So on one side, on one foot, the zigzag will be on the outside, and on one side the zigzag will be on the inside, which wasn't really what I was going for. Never mind, these things happen. I wasn't going to go back and change it once I'd got all the heel and the gusset done and everything, and it's not that big a deal, is it? So while we're on the subject of socks, I wanted to tell you about the crochet sock along that is going along at the moment. Well, pretty much always I knit socks. I have crocheted a pair of socks. I've actually got a pattern for a crocheted pair of socks. But I crocheted a Christmas stocking, and it actually turns out that it translated quite nicely into a bed sock, so I kind of made a bed sock version of it as well. So it's quite a sort of loose, slouchy sock that I've done in crochet. So in a way that doesn't count like a sort of, you know, a crocheted sock when they're sort of made up to replicate this kind of sock that you would wear in the day, or wear normally. They kind of look quite a bit different to my bed sock version. But anyway, the point being, I sometimes get questions about people that don't knit, that want to do socks, but they want to try a crochet version. So they're like, oh, I don't knit, and I'm not particularly wanting to learn to knit, but I do like the whole sock thing, so how about crocheting socks? Have you got any advice? And to be honest, I haven't really, because it's not something I have ever done. So at the moment, Faye from the Crochet Circle has organised a crocheted sock along. It's already running at the moment, and it's going on till the end of October. So she is hosting that together with Claudia from Crochet Luna, and also Catherine from Crafternoon Treats. I shall put a link in the show notes to Faye's latest podcast show notes, because she's got all the details in there, and you could also watch her latest podcast because she goes into all the details there. But as well as hosting the crochet along and having chatter threads and a finished object threads and prizes to win, she's also organised quite a lot of resources, pulled a lot of resources together. So if you do want to make crochet socks, this would be a really good time to sort of hop over there onto that little bandwagon and kind of make use of all the resources they've pulled together. There's also a blog hop going on. I think Tamara has organised that, and it's going around to various different blogs, and they're sort of talking about different things you need to know for crochet socks, so different techniques or different yarns to use, or the recommended patterns, and various things that are going to be really useful if that's something you're interested in. So yes, I thought I'd give that a quick mention. But yeah, if you pop over to Faye of the Crochet Circle, you can find out about it there, or just use the link that's in my show notes. And yeah, I think that'd be a really good thing to get you started on the whole crochet shock. Oh, there we go. It'd be a really good thing to get you started on the whole crochet sock thing, if that's something you want to try. So yeah, pop over and have a look at that. So that's all the things I've done. So let me take you through some things I'm doing at the moment. Where to begin? Let's talk about this actually. This back here. because it's going to be a bit awkward, so let me just go get it. Okay, so what this is some weaving. Just getting my little now I've had this for quite a few years and I haven't done any actual weaving for a lot of years. And so I'm quite rusty. I don't know how I got into it. I think via Ravelry, you know, the old gateway drug. You start knitting and then it opens up a window to other things. Yeah, I've seen people doing it on Ravelry, and I sort of kind of stalked a few people and kind of gradually found out. It took me ages to actually, you know, dip my toe into the weaving pool, as it were. Yeah, but I did eventually go for it, and I got myself a little rigid heddle loom, which is what I've got here, and I had a bit of a go at weaving, and it's quite good fun, I have to say. I quite like it. But yes, so these are the point being is I haven't done it for a while and I can't remember the terminology. Shuttles, I think these are. Right, so let me see if I can lift this up and show it to you. Oh, this is going to be interesting. I'm trying not to get everything's still attached, you see, because I very unwisely, given that I hadn't done this for a while, decided that using 4 different yarns would be a splendid idea. Right, so here we go. Whoops. Here it is! There's my little woven bit. So this is my loom. Like I say, it's a rigid heddle loom. I think this is a 16-inch version. It's a Kromsky harp, if you wanted to know that, which I got because it actually folds in half. So when you store it, you can fold it in half. That was my kind of overriding factor for going for this one, because space is an issue. And it still continues to be an issue because it's quite hard to find somewhere to do the weaving. You can get stands, but I haven't got space for the stands. So yeah, getting this out again, I've kind of reminded myself why I haven't done any weaving in a while. And the 2 reasons are, one, the warp takes quite a long time to set up. So that's these long ones here, in case you're not familiar. These threads going down are the warp threads. And you've got to get the whole length sort of ready that you'll want. You've got to set it all up on your loom and get it all through these little bits so it all works properly. Yeah, so that's a bit of a faff. And then, yeah, I just haven't really got anywhere very good that I can sit and do it. I kind of do it in my living room and kind of balance things all around me, but it's not ideal. Anyway, that's by the by. You don't really need to know any of that, do you? The point is, I'd seen some weaving. Who's been doing weaving? West Green Loft Yarns has been doing some lovely weaving. I brought one of her woven bags actually, and it's just gorgeous. I should have brought it up to show you. I'll put a picture in show notes if I can find it. Yeah, so I'd seen her do some weaving, and that kind of inspired me. And also Nora George had done some weaving using some of her minis, and that looks so nice. And I kept thinking, oh, I must get it out again. I must have a little go again. But I actually really like the actual weaving. I really like doing. It's actually quite relaxing and lovely to do. And I just think this little fabric you can get, it looks so cool. I really kind of like this quite basic thing. This is why I went for just a rigid heddle. I didn't want to go into anything technical with all kinds of different, whatever they're called, heddles, I suppose, cards, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, I didn't really want to get too technical because I just really like this kind of basic fabric that you can get. But yeah, so anyway, for this one I have made it a little bit more complicated because, as I say, I've used 4 different yarns. So I've used those on my warp threads as well, so you can see the different colours coming through, and I'm also using it for my weft threads, which is the ones going across. And yeah, it's getting a sort of quite nice checkered effect there. So yeah, it's going to be a cowl. I'm going to do the whole length, and then I'm going to sew the ends together and just have it as a wraparound cowl. I got a cowl, let me put this down for my... I got a cowl last year, or last winter, from Fat Face, which was a woven one. It was thicker threads than this though, but I really love it. You can wrap it round, it's quite wide like this, you can wrap it round twice and it's so snuggly. And all the sort of, because the threads are quite thick and spaced, it sort of traps a lot of air in there. So I thought I would try and replicate that, because last year I wore it so much. So I thought I'd have another little go at weaving and see if I could create one of my own. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do the ends and attach it together. Whenever I've done weaving before, I've just left the ends as a fringe, so I've secured and done the hem stitch and then either just knotted or just sort of left a fringe. So somehow I've got to tidy up my ends and join them together. So if there's any weavers watching that have got any top tips for how you think I should go about that, please leave a comment below. I'd be most grateful. I've got to the end of this woven bit to try and sort out some kind of plan for that. Yeah, but I'll keep you posted. A few people since I've sort of posted it on Instagram said, oh yeah, I haven't had mine out for ages either, I'll have a go. So yeah, I do think it is nice. It sort of makes a nice change. Some, you know, different actions, something else to do. It's quite nice. But yeah, it wasn't the best thought through plan because I haven't done it for a while. And I think some of my yarn choices are a bit dubious. For example, this one here. Let me tell you what they are actually. So this one is one that I got in the knit crate box. So I got 2 hanks of this. It's, I'm not even sure what weight it is, to be honest. It's a bit thick for my for what I'm using it for. I used a heddle that's, I guess, for about 4-ply yarn, and this is at least an Aran, so it's probably not the best plan. But like I say, wasn't really thinking it through, and I've just shoved it in, and I'm making it work, as they say. I'm just making it work. Yeah, so I've got this one, which is probably an Aran, if not a chunky, but that's quite cool and funky. And I'm a poet, and I didn't even know it. And I've got these 2, which are by the Wool Kitchen. Should have brought the actual yarn cakes up. This one has got a gorgeous speckle to it, which I don't know if you'll see. And this one's more plain. They go together very well. I will link to my Ravelry page on this, which will have all the actual yarns, because I can't even tell you the makeup of this, but it's a lovely silky, I think it had bamboo in it, if not silk as well. But that's got a lovely feel to it. That's quite good. That's quite a good yarn choice. And then this one is another dubious yarn choice. This is another knit crate one. But it's a single ply yarn, which would be fine for the weft threads shuttling across. That's absolutely fine. But I also used it in my warp threads going down, and because they're the ones that are stretched over the loom, they're actually under quite a bit of tension. So single ply yarn for something where you need a bit of strength, not the best idea. And also because the warp threads are what you you know, you're lifting up and down, and you're putting the God, I wish I could remember the name of this thing. This bit, this is the bit you lift up and it separates up so you can push the shuttle through, but also this is the bit that you push down to sort of, you know, neaten the weave up, so each time you put it through then you push down to get it nice and neat. Because it's rubbing across those single ply fibres, it's kind of fluffing them up quite a bit. I don't know if you can see. Can you see? Yeah, look, this side's still quite smooth because it hasn't been rubbed against yet, but here it's starting to get quite a bit of fluff come up. So yeah, but it's all right. It hasn't broken, so that's good. I don't know quite what I'll do if it is. Panic. Yeah, so I don't know quite what I'd do if it actually broke, but at the moment it seems to be holding up okay, so I think I'm going to get away with it. Hope I'm going to get away with it, but yeah, just perhaps wasn't the best plan on my part, but there you go. That's what comes of being rusty and forgetting the sort of basics of it all. I had to look up how to warp my loom again as well, get it all set up, but good old YouTube sorted me out there. So yeah, I shall keep you posted on that. Wish me luck on the ends and sorting out how to put them together. Next we have another new one. So this is in my Awesome Granny bag, Bags by Awesome Granny by Darlene. This is my gorgeous Halloween bag and it's humongous. Fits so much stuff in here. Look, it's not even full to the top and I've got 5 skeins in there. Love it. So I've been looking forward to using this bag, but now it's officially October. I can do it. So I spoke a little bit about this project on Instagram actually, because I was having a bit of a colour quandary. This is what I've got so far. I haven't got very far yet. As you can see, I'm going for very autumnal colours. Whoop. And you might recognise the zigzag because it's the same as my Getting Ziggy zigzags. But I've gone straight this time, so I'm going for a scarf. And I love how those yarns are coming out. Oh my goodness, I love it. So this one at the bottom is Eden Cottage yarns. That one's Sparrow, I believe. I'm going to have to pull them all out now because I don't remember anything. Sparrow, Tempo 4-ply it is, which is 75% wool, 25% nylon. Yeah, so this one I was quite in a quandary about whether to use or not because I love it so much. I guess it's sort of like a semi-solid. It's kind of a pinky, browny, peachy colour with sort of touches of sort of little grey tones and brown tones in it, and oh, it's one of those ones that I love so much I don't want to use. But also because it's sort of quite a nice wool nylon blend, it would be really good for socks, so I wasn't sure if this was the best project. But I just loved how it looked with these other colours. So I went for it in the end. So that's that one. Then I have this one. Oh, it's all getting into a bit, but don't go down here. So this one is by Vine. Lovely Kristen. Vine. This one's quite an old one, although she may still do the colourway. Can't even remember the name of it. Let's get it out. I've had it for ages, which you will see because look, it's even her old, it's her old labels. It's on her Blitz base, so that's Superwash Merino 9 on Stellina, and it's called Love Song. So again, another precious one that I've had in stash for quite a long time. It's got a bit of, well, I said it had Stellina in it, didn't I? But I don't know if you can see the sparkle. I'm putting a vlog at the end, by the way. I've got a bit of autumnal dog walking and a bit of me prepping these yarns up, but also I tried to get some of my warping the loom and setting that all up. It's not like as if a tutorial or anything, there's no explaining because I was kind of figuring it out as I went, but yeah, I just thought I'd put a bit in case you were interested in that, but I'll put it at the end, so you know, if that's your thing. Yeah, so that's a lovely, if that's something you might be interested in rather, that would be there for you. But yeah, that's lovely, as you can see, beautiful tonal colours going on there, reds and purples and lovely faded out bits and very pretty. Then I have this one, which was a gift to me, and this is the one of the yarn I can never say the name of. Malabrigo, is it? How you say it? that one. Malabrigo, I think is right. Oh, and I haven't got the colourway on here. I think it was Frank Ochre. But again, Ravelry page, all the yarns will be listed. Show notes, show notes, show notes, show notes. I think that's 100% merino, that one. Yeah, that's a lovely one to use. Crochets up beautifully, and the colour is perfection. Then I have this one, which I haven't actually got in yet. So this is my 5th colour. So on Instagram, I was asking, actually, I had these 4, and I was asking if I should use that one, or I had another one that I could have added to the mix, but it was quite pale. It had quite a white base to it, a sort of creamy base, and I just thought it was too pale to go with this really autumnal warm feel I was going for. But some people weren't sure about this one either, but I really quite like the peach. I like the warmth it brings, and I don't know, I just really like kind of the peach with the mustard as well, and yeah, that does it for me. So that was a definite for me. But this is Hedgerow Yarns, and it's also in a bit of a tangle. What on earth is going on with his yarns? And the colourway is, I really should look up this information before instead of trying to faff around with these tags while we're here. That would require forethought and organisation on my part. Fuzzy Peach. So it's superwash merino blend, high twist, sock yarn, and fuzzy peach. So yeah, that's gorgeous. And again, it's just got that little bit of tonal something going on. So it's not plain, it's got darker patches and little darkish speckles on there, and lovely. And last but not remotely least, this was kind of inspiration for the whole thing. It was this yarn that I got that made me think of this idea. And this is a precious, precious gift. All the way from America, from my special friend, Amelia. Hi, Amelia. I know she watches, so. Yeah, so this one is Cozy Posy Yarn Co., who has so many gorgeous yarns. Oh, but it's so expensive to order from America now with postage and import and everything. I really can't quite justify it to myself, especially given that there's so much choice of yarn dyes in the UK now. But oh, this one, I think she's actually Canada, actually, not America, but still. She's definitely Canada. It says so on here. Hand dyed in Canada. Yeah, so this is her sweater weather. And that's the superwash wool with nylon. And just those colours. Look at them all in there. So yeah, so this was kind of the basis of it in terms of it's got like the darker red in there, which I pulled out with the Vollenvine yarn. It's got the mustardy tones, which I pulled out with that one. And then it's kind of got some greeny blue in there, but I didn't want to add that in. I didn't want the coolness of that. So I've just stuck with other sort of warm colours that I liked. And this is like a sort of, it just goes nicely, doesn't it? And the peach for the warmth. Yeah, so this is the kind of the base for it all, if you like. The starting point. Let's pop that back in there. Yeah, but as you can see, it just comes out beautifully mottled and speckled. Oh, it's so nice. I'd seen it knitted and it looked really nice, and you're never quite sure if it'll, you know, work as well in crochet, but it really does. And so do the others, actually. Yeah, so I'm very happy about that. So my original plan was to just have rows and rows of this zigzaggy, to make a long scarf, wrap it round, lovely. But I might add another element to it because I don't. The trouble with zigzags is the ends. So I was kind of thinking tassels because I'm into the tassel at the moment, so I might just tassel them. But I might do some squares. So when it ends, you kind of get, what I would really like is for it to end like this, so that you have points, you know, so that's a down and the point is there. But of course you only get that on one side. On this side you get points at the edges. And I don't like that the ends won't match. So if you put the ends together, they're not gonna... I know it probably doesn't matter, it probably shouldn't matter, I probably shouldn't worry about it, but it kind of bugs me. So I might end the scarf with like some squares. I might put some squares on, and I might put some through. So I might do quite a few rows of this, maybe use each colour 2 or 3 times, and then maybe have some squares, and then do more zigzags, and then more squares. I was thinking 1 row of squares at first, but then now I'm thinking maybe like a couple of rows, like 2 or 3 rows, and then back to zigzags for a bit, and it might make it a bit more interesting, a bit more, give it a bit more oomph than just the zigzags. I don't know, what do you think? I quite like it. What I'm going to do is make up some squares and just sort of sit them along and see what I think. And if that looks kind of promising, I might sort of attach some and see how that goes. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not 100% decided yet, but I kind of like the idea of having a little something more to it than just the zigzags. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll do some squares and it will look wrong. And then yeah, so that sort of needs a little bit of thinking about and some faffing around with. And then the other thing that I have on the go, so we talked about this last time, and you were very good and gave me lots of very good advice. So this is not a lot at the moment. This is just a strip of grannies in a round. So it could be another cow, but it's not. So my thought was a jumper, and my thought was a nice wide jumper with thin sleeves. Now I thought, my original idea was to base my jumper on a pattern that exists on Ravelry, and it's called the colour block jumper, and it's just grannies like this. But it's actually, although it's sort of kind of a baggy jumper, it's not particularly, it's still not as loose as I was thinking, and also it's made in a different yarn. Wait, this is fingering yarn. I think that's made in double knit. So I was going to use it for at least a starting point, but actually it's no help whatsoever. So I thought, I'll just wing it. I shall just wing it. And as I was looking through, I came across the boxy pattern by Hokey Locatelli, but that is a knitted pattern. But that's the kind of style I wanted. So I thought, okay, that's what I want. It's just grannies. It looks to be quite straightforward. It's basically sort of 2 squares stacked together with arms. How hard can it be? I shall just start crocheting and it will all go very smoothly. But of course, when I started crocheting, because I didn't want the grannies to be all holy and really open, I've gone through a 3mm hook. So this 4-ply yarn, I'm using a 3mm hook. So it gives the fabric I really love, not too holy, but the boxy pattern, she's using 4-ply yarn also. I can't remember what needle she is, but she said about using a bigger needle because she wanted the drape so that the jumper would hang nicely. So last week I was saying, what shall I do about it? Shall I just knit a boxy? Shall I just rip this out and knit them? You know, do you think it's worth continuing with this because it might just be an abject failure? And the general consensus, well, it was quite a mixed bag, but a lot of you were saying, yeah, I can see why you're worried. I'd be worried too. And we were sort of, the people who commented and I were thinking on similar lines, that it might be too heavy, it might not hang right. Someone posted a lovely picture on there of their boxy on the blog, and they linked to their blog post about it, and at that moment, oh, I was so tempted to knit one. I nearly thought, forget this, I'm just going to knit one because hers looks beautiful. Came out really well. She'd made it for her daughter. I'm sorry, I can't remember your name off the top of my head. Yeah. But then as time went on, because it's so wide, it's so many stitches if you knit it. And I can crochet faster than I can knit, so it just seemed a little bit of a daunting task. And I think the one thing that's just stuck in my head is that the only thing worse than crocheting a jumper and it being a disaster is if I'd knit a jumper and it was a disaster. So although I've got a pattern to follow, and that's probably the most sensible thing to do, I think what I should probably do, if my head was in charge of this decision, was rip this back and knit a proper jumper following a proper pattern where I know it's probably going to work out. That would be the sensible thing to do, but I'm not doing that. I do want to knit a jumper at some point, a sweater, but it feels like such a huge task to me. I have knit them before, I have knit cardigans before, so I don't know quite why. I don't know, but it does feel like a mammoth task to me, and it's something I've got to sort of gear myself up to. That's why I quite like knitting socks, because I find it little and manageable. Yes, so anyway, long story short, too late. I'm going to carry on crocheting it for at least a while. It may all end in horrid, hideous disaster, but I think I just need to get it out of my system. If it's not going to work and I do all this and it doesn't work, then that will be horrible and disappointing and frustrating. But at least then I'll know, and at least I'll have got the idea out of my system. But I just keep thinking, I really like how that looks, and if I could crochet it, it would be so good. So yeah, so I need to work through it basically. One way or another. It's either going to work out fabulously or it's going to be a total disaster, but that's what I'm going to do. So this bit that I've got so far is my hedgehog fibres yarn in pistachio. So that was the other worry with crocheting, is that I would need more yarn. For the knitted version it only takes 4 skeins, and I had my 4, so I had this one, I had this one, Wool & Boon that I got in America, I had this one which is Fine Fish Yarns, and I had this one which is a Madeline Tosh, is that right? I think so. I'll put a note up if I'm wrong about that. So I had my 4 that I quite liked, but I think if I'm crocheting it I'm going to need more. So I found this one, which is just a plain from Rosie's Moments with a sparkle. So I thought I could add that on if I need to. So there's that. Or actually, would it go better? It'd go better from that one. Maybe that should be the order. But then that looks out of place. Yeah, it's got to be that, hasn't it? Okay. But then I also found another one. I was trying to find ones that went on the bottom. I had a green one that I could extend, make this. So I just started without thinking about how the bottom would be, but actually I need some ribbon on the bottom. So I was thinking of a colour that I could put down below this for the ribbon. And I had a green that worked really well, but I just didn't want it to be too greeny. I like that this is sort of minty and then kind of aquary. So going for more of a mint feel. So then I found this. Oh, look at that colour. Whoops. Oh my goodness, it's so gorgeous. So this is a Betsy Makes yarn, and it's called Aegean Sea. And as you can see, I haven't got much left now because I have done this. I've got another little bit. Can't show it to you because I've got bits hanging everywhere. So yeah, so I've got some ribbon that I've made. So I've gone for a split in it. So it has a split. It's a bit curly at the moment because obviously not blocked yet. And I've got a shorter bit at the front, and this will be the back bit, which is a bit longer. You can see that hangs down below it. And I've started a bit of granny striping, and I've started to put my pistachio in. I thought I'd maybe try and fade it in a bit so it wasn't too stark. I don't know if that'll work. So this is then, ooh, I've got a hair in it. How lovely! Let's get that out. There we go. Yeah, so then this has got to somehow attach onto the bottom of this. I know. I suppose what I could do is just rip all this back and just stick it on here, actually. That'd probably be easier, wouldn't it? Why didn't I think of that last night? What I was thinking was, because have you seen, oh, I like how that looks though. I like how they look together. Have you seen where they sometimes fix crochet, where they fix granny clusters, granny shells, whatever you want to call them, and you sort of cut the yarn and you catch the bottom and then you sort of thread through to make it again? I know it all sounds a bit horrific, doesn't it? There are tutorials though online if you Google it, repairing granny squares or something. I was going to use that theory to join these two together. That was my thought. But actually, now I'm sitting here thinking about it, for the effort it takes, how much longer would it take me? How long would it take me, I wonder, to undo all that chain, catch those bottom bits, rework the next row, kind of work it in with the bottom bits of this one and repair it all the way along, compared to just ripping this back and re-crocheting the whole thing? It's an interesting question, isn't it? Because this wouldn't be quick if I did that. Maybe I'll just rip back. Oh, I wish I'd thought of that before, because I've added some more rows to this. I might just rip back. Or do I try and fix it on? Which would be the lesser of those two evils? It might just be easier to crochet it on, mightn't it? I might do that. I could unravel it, crochet as I go. I might do that. Yeah, I might do that. Anyway, okay, so this is the bottom, and now I'm going to fade into this, which I will rework. What do you think? I love the colour, so I'm happy about that. It means sort of going back and redoing a bit, but that's okay, isn't it? This does not show you anything. Okay, I'm just waffling now. So that's how that's going anyway. Rightly or wrongly, I'm going to persevere until I've been proven completely and utterly wrong and I can't do it. I don't know if that's just stubbornness or stupidity or what it is. So a quick bit on patterns in progress. My Linden Bee shawl, which I have my Tutti Frutti version up there, and this is the original that I've been talking about a little while. The pattern is out. The pattern is out. It is available to buy. If you subscribe to the blog, you will have seen it on there already because I posted about it the other day. When was it? Last week, because we're Tuesday now, aren't we? Yeah, so it's out and it's available. So if you would like a copy, you can head on over there and purchase one. So yeah, I hope you like it. I hope you like it as much as I do, and have fun picking out your colours, because I still really want to make more of these, even though I've made 2 complete ones. I still keep seeing combinations that would work, and it just, yeah, I really love it. Yeah, I can't quite get it out of this one out of my system either. Everything's staying in my system at the minute. But yes, so thank you ever so much for being so kind about it. Thank you so much to everyone who's brought a copy already. You've been tagging me in to sort of see your yarn choices and things as well. Yeah, it's been quite fun to sort of see what people have got planned, and there's some lovely ones that are going to appear, I think, so that'll be fun. So I look forward to that. So yeah, if you do want to grab a copy and want to tag me in and stuff, then yay, show me what you're making. That would be fab. Yeah, so we won't go into anything else in Pip's Patterns in Progress for now. Hopefully I'll have more news next time. I'm just being aware of time marching, so I was thinking I best get on with it a bit. So the last section is incoming goodies. So I have a couple of incoming goodies, which I shouldn't really have, because I had all my Fibre East haul, and I know that was a little while ago now, but it's still sort of keeping me going quite nicely. But anyway, on Instagram, you know what it's like, it gets quite dangerous, and Alison of Biff Sugar Yarns is entirely responsible for my downfall and buying more yarn, because she would post a nice picture and I'd think, yeah, that's nice, I don't need any yarn. And then she'd post another one, I'd be like, oh, that's really nice, I don't need any more yarn. And then she'd post another one, I'm like, I need yarn. So Alison, it's all your fault. But yes, so I've ordered from Biff Sugar Yarns, which will be a no surprise. So this was the one that made me completely cave and have to go on there and get it. And this is her Pumpkin Party sock set. So I've got 100 grams here and a little 20 mini as well. It is a 75-25 superwash merino. Presumably nylon, it doesn't say that, but what would the 25 be if it's not nylon? And oh, those colours. I need to get this cast on. I will probably cast it on now I've shown you, because it's so autumnal and October-y and Halloween-y, and oh, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. Yeah. So I had to go and get some of that. Look at those speckles, oh my goodness. And this is going to look so nice for the heels and toes. Oh, it's been hard to resist casting that on. And then while I was there getting that, because I had to have that, I also popped in the basket one of these, because she'd been showing this as well, and this had kind of tempted me, but oh, I sort of resisted, and then I just couldn't anymore. Look at those colours. So this is her Potions colourway. Oh, I love it. This is superwash and merino as well. And yeah, what's to say? I want to cast on all the yarns. I just really love this yarn as well. It feels amazing. It's lovely to knit with. And the socks feel gorgeous once they're made as well. Yeah, so I will cast this one on, I think, and this one will have to wait a little bit longer. The other thing I've got to show you isn't actually a purchase either. It was in a yarn swap, so that doesn't count, does it? Yeah, so the other day I met up with some lovely ladies from Instagram. We arranged a little meet-up for our sort of little area, and yeah, we went and had some coffee and some cake and some chat, and that was really lovely. Some of the ladies I was meeting for the first time, and some of them I'd met before, some of them I'd known for a long time on Instagram, so it was lovely to meet them finally. So yeah, it was lovely. But anyway, we had a yarn swap, so we took a hank that we didn't love anymore, and we were able to bring back one that we really did. So this is what I got. It's a bit of a theme this week. Look at the oranges and the pinks and the colourfuls going on. Party colourways going on. Look at these colours in there. Look at it. Oh my goodness, there's reds, there's orange, there's pink, there's blue, there's aqua, there's yellows. Oh, it's fabulous. So this is a, how do you say that now? Quing fibre, do we say? It's a merino, it's a single ply, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to use it for, but just those colourways. Oh. And its name, I bet you won't guess what it's called. The colourway name is Penguin. What? How many penguins have you seen that colour? So I don't know what that's about. I don't know. Can't even be, it's not even like Batman or something. He's not these colours in Batman, is he? He's like got purple and... Yeah, I don't know. If you know, you can let me, please feel free to tell me. But yeah, that confused me. It's like, why? Why is that a penguin colour? And there you go. Right, so that's it for me. I shall wrap it up. Thank you ever so much for sticking with me this long. And if you want to hang on for the vlog, that will be coming up in just a few seconds. But yeah, that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and if you'd like to hit the like buttons or subscribe, that would be fab. And I hope you have some lovely crafting time until I see you again. Okay, bye.